If one out of those two judges goes the other way, we have the biggest moment in sports history right there.
What up, everyone? Shakiel Mahjouri here for CBS Sports, and you know who this is. He stood behind Francis Ngannou in one of the most important, inspirational performances of all time in the world of combat sports, and we're looking to do it again ahead of Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua in Riyadh on March 8th. Team Combat League president Dewey Cooper, how's it going, man?
I'm terrific. Thank you for the nice introduction. Yeah, I'm terrific. We literally just finished training about 15 minutes before this interview. It's Thursday night here, 1:04 a.m. in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. 11 minutes from now, 8 days away, we'll be entering the ring against Anthony Joshua. Woo!
Yes, shout out to you. The fact that you have this level of energy at like 1 a.m. in the morning is something I inspire to be, because I'm like on the verge of crashing at 2 p.m. So shout out to you and Francis. Shout out to all our like night shift nurses, and shout out to all like the UK fans who have to watch every MMA event at like the weirdest times of the day. Now, Dewey, I got a bone.
Night shift nurses. Real fast. My mom was an RN. She worked at the hospital all night for the early part of my life. Then she finally got the 3 to the 11 shift. So big shot to all the, late night working nurses. My mom did that for you.
Yay. Shout out to your mom. Shout out to my wife. We just recently got her like on a casual schedule so she could pick the day shifts exclusively. The night shifts will kill you, man. So I'm glad your mom was able to get those nice shifts in the daytime down the line there. Now, Dewey, I got to start here with you because I got a bone to pick with you, my friend. And I want to get this out of the way because I love you. I don't want anything to stand between us. I asked you in the last interview if that footage of Francis shattering the glass doors was real or not. And you told me it was real, Dewey.
Hey,
what do you have to say for yourself?
I thought it was real. It had nothing to do with me. I thought it was real. I swear. I thought it was real. I found out the shit was staged. I was shocked. I was like, why you guys didn't tell me? I thought it was
they
real.
really didn't tell you
Francis
about this?
is a nice guy, and if he destroyed something, I knew he would pay for it. But hey, they had me too. I didn't know. Him and his camera guy Randy set that up apparently. Remember, because when I'm not with Francis, I'm training my other guys. I got like 18 fighters. So when I got there, it already happened. No one told me it wasn't real. I see it on a line first, and I was like, bro, you broke the glass. We all laughed, but no one ever told me it was staged. So
that's so funny.
So it wasn't a complete lie. I just didn't know. I was unaware. I was uninformed.
Okay, I will accept that. I will accept that.
I'm glad you did. Thank you for hold people accountable, and definitely hold me accountable 100%. I appreciate that.
Okay, well, for all the people who went into that Ngannou Fury fight thinking that there's no chance in hell that Ngannou's going to come close to winning that fight, you proved them wrong. So I believe you to be an honest man, Dewey. Speaking of that fight, as we head towards Anthony Joshua, what is the biggest fundamental difference in preparing for Joshua versus preparing for Fury?
It wasn't our first time. And I know that's a simple answer, but guys, it means so much. It wasn't our first time. We're not going to uncharted lands. Francis is evolved, man. He's way better than what you guys think. You guys will see in 8 days. But yeah, that's the main thing. Of course, we're gonna stay sharp and work a lot of technique and try our best to get him in tip-top ultimate shape. But the awareness, the knowledge, and the understanding of real boxing now is no longer a mystery. And it will all show in 8 days.
Now, I couldn't help but be one of I do not consider myself an analyst of all my roles in the sport. That is not one of them. So I couldn't help but kind of have the common man's belief out of that fight that like, well, now the secret's out on Ngannou and people are going to know. I'm done doubting you guys when you say that he's improved vastly. I believe you, but I am curious. How seriously, in hindsight, do you think Fury took the fight? And do you think Joshua will take this challenge significantly more seriously now that he's seen what Francis can do? Or do you think both guys, put their best foot forward?
Well, honestly, and I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. I truly believe Fury did what he can do. I think he took the fight seriously. My phone's ringing. Sorry, I'm not going to answer it.
That's okay.
If he didn't, what type of champion is that? You're a world champion. Every time you fight, you want to ignite and excite. and you want to dominate. So for him to be a world champion and taking grown men who are also champions not serious isn't really what the code of a champion is. So I am totally not in agreement with the media. I felt he trained hard. He looked the same shape he looked in every other fight. He wasn't sloppy or in worse shape. It was just Francis was much better than what people thought. And more importantly, he was much stronger, much more durable, and much more athletic than what people thought. And of course, Anthony Joshua's if Tyson Fury took this fight serious, Anthony Joshua taking this fight ultimately serious. Yeah. So absolutely, we know it. Anthony's definitely going to put his best foot forward, and that's what we want. Because Francis is going to put his best foot forward, and that's what this is all about. Guys, this is not a scrimmage. These are real fights against real world champions. These are legacy building type of fights. We know it's not going to be easy. We expected it to be the hardest outing of Francis's career, but that's what it's about. Pushing yourself, challenging yourself, and taking the biggest challenges. And so we want Anthony Joshua to be serious and sharp and strong, because I guarantee you, Francis Ngannou is going to be very serious, very sharp, and very strong on March 8th.
Why did Francis Ngannou perform so tremendously in his first boxing fight, where other guys like Conor McGregor, Tyron Woodley fell so short relative to their competition? I mean, he did it at the highest level.
Yes.
And he came out in a lot of people's minds on top.
Yeah, these guys took 6-round fights, stuff like that. Conor did a 10-round against Floyd, but Floyd was past 40 years old, past his prime. Conor was a younger, supposedly stronger guy and got stopped. Francis was the older guy, 2 years off of fights because he had a knee surgery and the UFC debacle stuff. He had everything against him. Hadn't fought in 2 years, a bit older, no experience, all of that. The reason was because he's different. Number one, has an impenetrable mind. If he would have let the naysayers, the media, and the common opinion of the fight affect him, he wouldn't have done well. He truly believed in himself and his abilities. How many of us can hear the whole world say no, and we keep saying yes? Very few of us, number one. Number two, he got a real team. I'm a world championship winning coach. John Mumba's an Olympian. He put a real team. He has a real team around him, not just to coach him, but guys who care about him. We're a real team. We're real friends. We're real extended family, and we really care about Francis. So we hold nothing back and trying to help propel him towards his ultimate greatness. There's no egos either. You know what I mean? So when you combine all those things, it's going to be an improved fighter. And we had confidence and belief in him and Francis also. So when everyone said no, we said yes. And Francis knew he was, and that's why he did it. And we feel the same way about this fight.
One of the sort of, I mean, granted, man, I lost track of how many interviews I do in a 12-month calendar. So when something sticks out in my mind, it's very valuable for me. And last time we spoke, you talked about basically the same question, like, why do you have such firm belief in Francis? And it's because, as you said, you have never met someone who has triumphed through adversity the way Francis had.
Yes.
From leaving Africa to being homeless in France, all the way to a UFC champion, and then to take on this challenge in Tyson Fury and I think put in one of the most remarkable performances in sports history.
Yes.
How did it make you feel when you had a chance to look at what Francis accomplished that night and reflect on his journey to that point? It's one thing to imagine it, but it's another thing to realize it.
Unreal, surreal, fantasy, like a daydream. It's so crazy. We knew he could do it. And I'm still deep down inside, slightly damaged, because if one out of those two judges, let me get my words right, if one out of those two judges goes the other way, we have the biggest moment in sports history right there. We were this close to really having our moment. You know, that 15 seconds of fame or whatever the saying is, we really had our moment. But it's okay, it was just, it's a warm feeling inside. It's an accomplished feeling inside. Is how I feel. I feel accomplished because everyone talked about everything else except for us and the way we train and the way he spars and the guys we brought in to help him improve in his sparring and just we put together a masterful camp. And we done the same thing this time. So we're 100% expecting the same result, but being even better. You know, Josh was a good fighter, man. He's a great champion and all of that. But Francis is different. We don't know how great Francis. We don't know how great Francis can be yet, and that's the challenge. That's what we're doing this for, to see how great he can be. And once he defeats Joshua, we're getting even closer to a level of greatness that very few see in the whole history of this fight game. So, man, we have big dreams, big aspirations, and we're really close to accomplishing them. And we're 8 days away from taking one more step for Francis to show the whole world that he's definitely something different.
When I think of some of the most tight-knit camps in combat sports, like Cerro Longo is one that comes to mind, but over these last few years, the crew that you and Nicksick have assembled and the way you speak about your fighters and your fighters speak about you guys is very heartwarming. I think it was Eric who put out a clip of a meeting that you guys had. I think it was you, Nicksick, the managers, and maybe Markel was there, and you were telling the room, whoever Francis wants to get, I will get them to train Ngannou.
And by the way, Francis was there also.
Oh yeah.
I'll start with the answer. Let me tell you something. Whether you guys know it or not, that was a very serious moment. And it could have been a very uncomfortable moment. But again, man, I really care for the success of anyone I work with, whether I'm a part of it or not. And so that moment was very intense for me. That's what I can say about that. But, whatever makes my fighter happy, I'm willing to do for them, period. Whether that's bringing someone else in, me stepping down, me stepping away, me being the assistant, me being in the background, because I only truly care about winning, man. That's why I'm willing to get hit so hard by Francis and go home hurt and so it's so much pain I can't even sleep at night sometimes because of this. Because I'm willing to do whatever it takes for my fighter to be good. And it's not just Francis. I got Carlos Takam punching on me. I got my MMA fighters kicking me full power with back kicks. Guys like Javid Bacharat and Farid Bacharat hurt me, man. But I tell them, as long as you're willing to hit your opponent like this, I'm okay with it. So that video was, I couldn't believe when Eric put that video out. I never shared it. To this day, go to any of my social medias, you didn't see it because that was a very intense moment. But it's true. That's what families are. Families have to be real with each other. They have to be transparent with each other, and they have to be unconditional with each other. And that's what that video represented, an unconditional feeling that I had about this whole thing. And I meant every word I said.
So how validating was it for you when Francis said, I want Dewey in my corner for this?
It was very validating. People really underestimate the championships I won in boxing already. I've took some good fighters and made them great fighters. Just me, not doing not all this hype and buzz and the top boxing media coming to the gym and all of that. But I've taken some good fighters and made them great. And so it was very rewarding because I've been with Francis for a long time, and he wasn't going to fire me that day. He was just going to bring someone else in. But it was very rewarding. We started working, and he trusts in my striking capabilities as a coach. But remember, he was new to boxing too, and I understand, him thinking maybe I should bring someone who's separate from this team so we get new and fresh stuff in. So I understood it. But like I said on the video, I was 100% confident that I could make him successful as a boxer. And we assembled our team, and we're doing just that. And March 8th is going to be a reflection of that, man. All these fights are so serious. It's such high stakes, man. One bad outing, everything could change. The love won't change, but things can change. And that's the reality of sport. It happens in football, basketball, baseball, everything else. So that's why when it's all said and done, any fight I've ever had, I always do my best to have them prepared, and that's all you can do in this life is do your best. I've gotten to a certain level of success where my best should mean something, but that's what I care about, man. Situations like that just made us stronger, and it worked out. And my expectation for March 8th is domination, man. I know how severe these fights are and important, especially this one. I want to see Francis get his hand raised the way he deserved to on October 28th in Riyadh last time. This time, that's the goal. Anything else is going to be disappointing.
October 28th, the Fury fight. March 8th, the Joshua fight. But March 28th is the season 2 premiere of Team Combat League. Look at me, I'm picking up on some patterns here, rocking the shirt. First things first, heading into the second season, what lessons did you take from the first season? What can fans expect from season 2?
Many lessons. We cleaned up a lot of things. We made the teams better. The uniforms are better. The fights will be better. Just having a more efficiently ran company, and we've done that, and being able to go to different locations, home and away fights will be a game changer. As you know, season 1, it was at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. We had the entire season there, so all the teams went there to compete. This year, we're traveling. We'll be in Miami, where it gets spicy at, and the people come out and really get hyped about these fights. We'll be in Philadelphia. We'll be, in Texas, places like this where people really enjoy these type of fights. And it's going to be an exhilarating time. One thing for sure, we've improved in every aspect. We added more teams. We added more rounds per match. And it's going to be exciting. Last year was 18 rounds of excitement. This year will be 24 rounds of excitement. 24 rounds, 24 different matchups. Every single round is a different matchup. And the fighters only get 3 minutes to impose their will and show their skill and entertain the crowd and the fans that's watching on our streaming platform. So it's going to be great. I'm excited about that. I'm the most blessed guy in the world. My daughter's in college making straight A's.
Great singer
lady,
too.
yes, my lady and I are good. We're happy. Francis Ngannou's about to beat Anthony Joshua on March 8th. And then Team Combat League season starts 3 weeks later. I gotta be the luckiest guy in the world right now. And I'm not taking it for granted. I'm gonna count my blessings and stay humble. And at the end of the day, keep working hard. After Francis' fight, I will be at work pounding the pavement for Team Combat League, doing everything that needs to be done in my presidential role, and just doing our best to make this company a real sport, not just in America, but around the globe.
Well, I love the introduction of home and away games because I often tell friends who are not as deep in the MMA bubble, it's like when you get the foreign fighters blowing up, they really get the support of their nations behind them. You're seeing with Ilia Topuria right now in Spain, for example.
Yes.
The American audience doesn't really seem to latch onto, because so many of the fighters are American. I love the idea of sort of instilling that electricity with the home and away games. I noticed that Andre Ewell was in season 1. Are there any other UFC alums that might be involved this season, or that you're kind of scouting for future seasons?
Oh yeah, we're scouting some guys. We're thinking about bringing in some special guest fighters to fight occasionally, stuff like that. So just stay tuned. Several guys from the MMA community have reached out, and we have several on different teams. But the high-level UFC guys, of course, they have to be over with their career because the contracts in UFC are so 360.
Francis would know.
Yeah. But yeah, we have a bunch of guys from the mixed martial arts community getting involved, and they're doing well because it's only one round, man. If you come to fight, if you put your will on the line, you can do some wonderful things in a 3-minute round. So, we expect some tremendous fights this year. I cannot wait for you to see how aesthetically pleasing things look. We have sponsorships coming in. We'll be wearing Venom gloves, The uniforms are immaculate. I just can't wait for the world to see it. It's going to be really, really a sharp fight. Home and away fights, not a game, because this is professional boxing, and boxing is never a game.
There we go. There we go. Ahead of Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua on March 8th. Dewey Cooper might be in line for one of these Coach of the Year nods. Stop sleeping on him, folks.
Hey.
Team Combat League Season 2, March 28th. Guys, subscribe, tap the bell, all that good stuff. Give us your official prediction for Ngannou versus Joshua. Dewey, if there's anything else you want to tell the folks, the floor is yours, man.
I just want to say thank you for your support. A lot of you guys didn't believe in Francis against Tyson, his first boxing fight. Hopefully you'll sway your opinions and change your mind and start believing, because he's something different. He's a rare athlete. A fighter like this only comes once in every several decades, if not centuries. So enjoy it, because we'll see how far he can take it. Our goal is to take it to the top and end up being the king of mixed martial arts and the king of boxing. But right now, the objective is Anthony Joshua. He planned on defeating Anthony Joshua. We plan on him defeating Anthony Joshua. And 3 weeks later, Team Combat League starts March 28th. Please check us out. Go to Team Combat League YouTube channel and check out any fight. You'll see it. You'll love it. You'll like it. And I just hope you guys support Team Combat League, because we're doing a lot of things for the fighters. 24 fighters on 12 different teams. That's 24 guys getting weekly checks to do what they love. That's big. So hopefully you guys will tune in to Francis Anthony Joshua fight. And after that, 3 weeks later, start checking out Team Combat League. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.